Present.
J. Ryan Moses,
Here.
Candace Payne,
Present.
Ladon Sperling,
Here.
Monique Terpstra,
Here.
great, and Sam Betters. Okay, looks like we have a quorum with Sam absent today. We could go back to the agenda, please. We'll start with the approval of October 2024 meeting votes. Any questions or comments on those? And if not, if I can ask for a motion of approval, please.
So moved. This is Ladon.
Thanks,
Second
Dawn.
by Candace.
Thanks, Candace. All those in favor signified by aye or hand raise.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Division of Housing Directors, comments and budget updates.
Hi, Anthea. It's Allison. Thank you for that. I just want to do some quick updates on the Division of Housing and then also highlight that it is Homeless Youth Awareness Month. First off, with the Division of Housing, we have provided updates with our newsletter that we sent beginning of the month about our cadence of applications and availability of funds. So we are staying on track and excited about all of the great things that we're seeing in projects and programs coming forward. So lots of great work happening out there, and we're happy to be a part of that and happy to support the great work being done, because it's all toward the same goal of providing more housing for folks around Colorado. That being said, this is Homeless Youth Awareness Month. So it's really a time for us to reflect on the ongoing challenges that youth have with homelessness. And so with that, DOLA, we do a friendly competition with Department of Education and Human Services. And so in trying to support our youth. So this month, on November 16th, to raise awareness about youth homelessness, if you want to wear green and share photos in social media, that will help raise the awareness that many of our youth are challenged as they face challenges that we really don't hope for others, especially our youth. That can be the most challenged, especially as we start to face the holidays. So please keep in mind that it is Homeless Youth Awareness Month. And with that, I'm happy to hand it back to you, Anthea.
Thank you, Allison. Any questions, comments from the board? Okay, hearing none. Thanks again, Allison. We'll go ahead and start with the project application. First up is Rocky Mountain Community Land Trust, First Time Home Ownership Opportunity Program, and presenting today is Erin McNabb.
Good afternoon. Rocky Mountain Community Land Trust requested $2,085,000 in Prop 123 funds to help first-time home buyers through acquiring and rehabilitating homes over a 3-year period. The staff has recommended award of $420,000 in Prop 123 funds over a 1-year period based on the applicant's past performance of assisting 6 households with purchasing a home for the first time per year. Rocky Mountain Community Land Trust was founded in 1996 to help families create generational wealth through home ownership. Presenting today will be Vicki Albert. Vicki?
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and let Nate present today.
No problem.
We can actually do both. Thanks, Erin. Thanks for picking up on this application, and thanks to the board and the Division of Housing for the opportunity to apply for this. Like Erin said, we've been around since the mid-90s. We've been able to help 389 families become first-time home buyers in that period, and we look forward to hopefully receiving the funding to help 6 more families come into our Community Land Trust family as first-time home buyers.
And we're not really sure what other details you'd like to hear from us. What else would you like to hear?
Or any questions or?
Any
That
questions?
that is a good overview. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and ask for questions. It looks like Nancy has one here.
Yes, thank you. Boy, I'm sure that there is going to be a mad rush for people who want some help with buying their first home, since it's so complicated and difficult. So one of my questions is, what criteria are you going to use to select the folks who actually end up in these homes?
I'll let Vicki answer that since it's her forte.
So, first of all, this isn't a new program. We've been around for 26 years, and this is we use the same model, and we just seek out funds from different sources throughout the years to make sure that there's a pool of permanently affordable homes available to LMI families, regardless of what the market looks like. The 5 criteria that they have to be first-time home buyers. They have to, and that is based on the HUD's definition of first-time home buyer. That means after 3 years and a day, you can be a first-time home buyer again. And displaced homemakers can be first-time home buyers as well. And additionally, the family has to qualify through one of the lenders that works with the land trust in order to make sure that they're looking at a property they can actually afford. The families have to attend a first-time home buyer workshop, a HUD certified first-time home buyer workshop. They have to be 80% or below on AMI. And they have to have, what else am I forgetting? Oh, they have to attend our lease training and orientation training. Those are about 6 hours worth of training on the land trust. And then
They have to bring 1% of the
Yes.
purchase price into the transaction.
Correct.
And do you have a waiting list of
We do.
applicants?
Currently, we have about a 15 family waiting list. And
Isn't bad.
families drop off and they add on as they move or as they maybe decide to rent for a year instead of pursuing homeownership.
Well, sounds like a great.
As we have families that are out in the community looking for homes, they discover our program. And once they find a home, then they can come right to us as well to get qualified.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Properties can come in. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to clarify that properties can come in from the MLS into the inventory, and we have homes that are also available. And as people move on, that opens opportunities for a new family to move into a home that a previous family has lived in.
And that's how we maintain our permanent affordability, is that our ground lease dictates that they sell to another income qualified or program qualified family through us.
Through RMCLT.
Got it. Thank
That's
you for that
really helpful.
clarification. Nancy, did you have a follow-up before we go to Ryan?
No, I just said thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Floor is yours, Ryan.
Oh, thank you, Anthea, and thanks for your presentation and your time today. So I've just got a couple of questions. First off, where will these homes be located in El Paso County?
The city of Colorado Springs and Manitou Springs.
Okay, specifically, where in Colorado Springs?
We have them all throughout the entire city. So we allow the family to choose where they want to live for work, for family, for school, or whatever. So anywhere within the city limits.
And within their affordability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then my follow-on question is, given the fact that there are 5 military bases in Colorado Springs, if you count the Air Force Academy and Cheyenne Mountain, what historically has been your user rate of this program in terms of military veterans? And then moving forward, given the fact that there are only 6 houses available, and I think you said you had 15 folks in your queue or families in your queue, will military families or veterans have any priority given the fact that there are 5 military bases in Colorado Springs?
We wouldn't give priority. We work on a first come, first served, first qualified to get into a home. And historically, we have not had much participation with active duty military. We have with veterans, but difficult for an active duty military person that would qualify for our program to be able to be economically feasible for the 3-year period they might be here. So we haven't had
Well, so not to interrupt. So why is that in terms of active duty military folks? Because they get what's called BAH or basic allowance for housing, given the stratified system or the rank structure within the military, as well as coupled with the geographic location within Colorado Springs. You could quite possibly have military families in the grade of enlisted grade 6 or E6 and above. That depending upon, so if you're talking about down there southeast of town, Mark Shuffle area just outside of Peterson Air Force Base, as you know, there are a lot of tract homes being built in that area too that's densely populated with military, so on and so forth. So that's one follow-up. And the other part of that is from a veteran's perspective. Like I said, given the inordinate amount of military bases in Colorado Springs, why is priority not given to veterans, especially since this is for Colorado Springs?
Is it okay if I answer this question? Okay, well, I just wanted to clarify that Nate is a veteran as well. He's retired military, and my husband was in the military, so we really have a heart for them as well. Our program doesn't prioritize anyone. In order to meet fair housing guidelines and to meet the color of money that is invested in this, we make sure it's a first time, first serve. And second of all, I was a lender for 15 years previous to this. So if there is another option for a family other than the land trust that looks more economically feasible and is better for them in the future, I always recommend that to them. And I know a lot of down payment assistance programs, and I refer them to that. Typically, military families fall a little higher than our 60% AMI households, and our program requires longevity in the property in order to get to the plan, because we're an appreciation sharing model. And at 4 years and a day, that is when you get the most bang for your buck out of that. And if they're not really committed to be there 4 years in a day, and being in the military, you can be moved in 2 years and 3 years. We don't want them to be put in a situation where they don't get the most out of this program. We have had a couple of military families come in while they're in the military, transition into the civilian life, and stay within the program. But those are very rare and few, because a VA loan typically affords them 100% of the appreciation, 100% ownership, and we just do some financial counseling with them and counsel them to start small and move up to big, and that is the best bet. So definitely we have a heart for the military in our community, but it just isn't the most financially feasible for them. It's not the best.
So first off, thank you for both of your service, both being, I guess, a military spouse as well as a military veteran. I appreciate that. Myself being a retired colonel, retired 5 years ago, and Legion of Merit recipient and all the other kind of laundry list stuff, I just would not be worth my salt being here in Colorado Congressional District 5 and not raise the questions in terms of equal access or just access and even priority, given the fact that we've got a population density down here in El Paso County. So thank you for your time, your consideration, and your patience in answering those questions today.
And we really do appreciate your interest and appreciation for the veterans and the active duty down here. It's a big part of our community.
We've had grants in the past with Federal Home Loan Bank. We had a rehab grant where a percentage of those rehabs had to go to families who were previous military service. And anytime we can fit that in and make it work best, then we do, because we
Thank you.
The population.
Thanks for your service as well.
Thank you, Ryan. Sam?
Thank you, Anthea. This question's for the applicant. I saw that your request was significantly higher than the recommended funding amount from the staff, and it seems as though the reason was past performance. I guess my question is, last year it looks like you sold 6 homes. Was that a reason because you didn't have the funding to sell more than that, or was that just the amount of demand that you had?
Amount of funding and demand, kind of a combination.
Well, I think that demand was there.
Mhm.
The market prices is what was limiting, and the aggressive contract process where people were offering $5,000 cash up and above and beyond for homes. Our buyers don't have the ability to do that. Our properties, as you know, we have home funds in some of our properties. Couldn't at that point, they were limited to 95% of market value. So that totally tied our hands behind our back. We could have done more, but we just had to adhere to specific home guidelines and grant guidelines, and that can be restrictive.
It's been an interesting market as everybody is experiencing.
Has there ever been a consideration to you purchasing the homes ahead of time and then reselling them to qualified buyers so that you maybe get around that issue of having to be able to respond very quickly?
Yes, sir. That's actually been our main ability to acquire new properties, is purchasing it off the market, rehabbing it, bringing it up to our standards, and then selling it to a qualified family through our program.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the Ute Mountain Tribe Ute Tribe Housing Rehab. Presenting today is Shirley Diaz.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the Housing Development Specialist for Southwest Colorado. And today we have a staff recommendation for a grant in the amount of $600,000 in Proposition 123 AHOP funding for the Ute Mountain Ute Tribes Colorado Ute Mountain Helping Hands Program. That's a mouthful. The rehab program has been in operation for 3 years, and the tribe fully expanded a previous award from us by rehabbing over 20 homes on the reservation. The Ute Mountain Ute Tribe has a wait list of 100 homes in need of various levels of rehabilitation, including accessibility needs. And representing the tribe today is Bernadette Cuthair, Beverly Santacola, and speaking first today is Juanita Plentyholes. Juanita?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juanita Plentyholes, and I'm the director for our Tawahi program. And under our Tawahi program, we also received some HIP funds. So when I came on board in 2018, we started with the renovations. And so since 2018, we've been renovating some homes, as well as some small things like roofs and just temporary, fixtures and that.
Thank you, Juanita. Any questions from the board? Monique. You might be on mute, Monique.
Sorry, I am. I just want to say I think this is a great program, and thank you for the great presentation. There's a big need in the tribal homes for this. Thank you.
Monique. Sam.
Thank you. This is for the applicant. I was reading the write-up, and it sounded as though each time you do a renovation, you intentionally relocate the family out of that unit. Is that regardless of the types of renovations you're doing?
Yes, if we're doing the total renovations, we have the applicants move out so they have a clear space to work in.
And what if you're just doing minor renovations, like maybe replacing a roof or windows or something like that?
And then the families can stay in their home.
Okay. The other thing that seemed to be a limiting factor for your program was the fact that you only had one site to relocate families to. Have you given any consideration, since you have such a long wait list, of maybe asking for some additional state funds to acquire or build another temporary housing site so that you could, work on more than one unit at a time?
Can I go ahead and respond to that? My name is Bernadette Cuthair. I'm Director of Planning and Development for the Ute Mountain Tribe. So that would be greatly appreciated if we built in an additional temporary housing for families. So Wemanoche Construction Authority can expedite quicker rehab turnaround times. And part of the reason why we have the families move out is because of the insurance purposes under the construction company. They need to make sure that there's not a liability issue if a family member should get injured if they're still in the home. So that's part of the reason why they have to have the family move out. Then plus, if there's any kind of furniture or anything that's a personal items, that we want to make sure that we move that out as well. So that's part of the reason why. So any kind of help would be greatly appreciated in the temporary housing.
One other thing I want to add is in 2023 and 2024, we received 2 HUD grants, and we received additional funding from Colorado Health Foundation and CHAFA, and we're beginning to build. We're working now, breaking ground to build 2 homes, and those 2 new homes that we're building will house people during the rehab. We didn't have that opportunity previously, so we will have at least 3 homes, 3 places to temporarily locate people.
Okay. So it looks like you're one step ahead of my idea.
Yeah,
Well-
and for some of the homeowners, some of the homes were already vacant because of how dilapidated they were, so nobody was living in them. So Wemanoche was able to work on 2 homes at a time during that period.
So ideally, we'd be looking at 4 homes, but currently we'll have 3 homes. So if we can get to 4, that would be better. So thank you.
No, thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you, Sam. LaDawn?
Thanks, Cynthia. So this question is for staff. I noticed on this project, the requested amount was just over 5 million, and we're doing a 600,000 as a recommended amount. And on the previous project, it was also significantly lower than the requested amount. So what are there sources that these projects can go to get the additional funding? Or the other one was they requested 2,085,000 and the staff recommended funding is 420,000. So just share, if you could share a little bit about why there is such a difference in the requested amount and what we're recommending, that would be great.
Andrew, actually, do you want to handle that?
I can handle that question. We are applying for a EPA community change grant, and that community change grant is $1 million. And so the 15 million, although it doesn't do the repairs that are necessary, it does climate action and pollution reduction. And so we are focusing, are projecting that we will do 72 homes over 3 years. That's what we would have to do with that amount of funding. If we get it, it would have to be spent in 3 years. So when we proposed the 5 million, it was really based on that projection. Shirley came back to us and says that the recommendation of 600,000 was based on our past performance. And I guess what may not have been taken into consideration or may have taken into consideration is we started this project during COVID. We lost about 12 months. So we moved a lot slower in the first 12 months than we moved in the last 24 months. So we're projecting the 73 homes over 3 is doable by the tribe.
And LaDawn, your question was really about our program, and it looks like Fallon has raised her hand to respond to that as management.
Yeah, absolutely. So in general,
Thanks, Ellen.
we are assessing these more program style type projects on a 1-year basis based on past performance. And that's due in large part due to our limited funding that we have each quarter. So these applicants could potentially come back when they start expending all those funds and they're getting towards the end of those and come in at a different quarter and apply for more as needed.
Thank you.
Wait, that makes sense. Thank you.
Great question, LaDawn. I
Always
wanted
trying
to
to get more money for home ownership.
I wanted to ask staff if when the board is presented with the agenda and the packet, if we could also get an update on the buckets of funding that are available as well as the current balances, because that helps us just see the why behind why some of these funding requests have been scaled back a bit.
Absolutely. I'll follow up with Laura on that.
Thank you. Thanks for that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ute Mountain Tribe. Next up is the Mountain Valley Mobile Home Park, and presenting is Evan Samora.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Evan Samora. I'm the Housing Development Specialist covering the San Luis Valley and a number of adjacent counties. I'm here today to present to you the Chaffee Housing Trust's request of $715,000 in Proposition 123 funding to assist in the purchase of the Mountain Valley Mobile Home Park. Mountain Valley is a naturally occurring affordable housing property located in Poncha Springs in Chaffee County, a location of which the median home sales price is $660,000. Hosting 23 lots, which serve both homeowners and renters alike, 13 lots are eligible for Proposition 123 funding, as they are owned by a household with a gross income at or below 100% AMI. Here with us today is Reed McCullough, the Executive Director of the Chaffee Housing Trust.
Thank you, Evan. And thank you to y'all for considering this application. Previously, the Chaffee Housing Trust has come to you with properties that were in the community land trust model for home ownership. This particular project came to us in July, fairly late notice, when residents learned that their park was being sold or being put on the market, and they needed help in organizing to try and maintain control of their park, and for fear of what would happen if it did sell out on the open market. So that compelled us to get involved to see what we could do. We met with residents and decided that the best immediate action was for them to assign their rights to the Chaffee Housing Trust as a local nonprofit affordable housing provider, and that we could pursue funding and financing on their behalf. And that would give us the time that they need to ultimately prepare or organize a cooperative and ultimately take control of the park themselves. And so we partnered with the Chaffee Housing Authority in figuring out how to manage this park in the future. And the funds from the DOH are pretty critical, along with financing from IDF to make the deal work.
Thank you, Reed. Congratulations on putting together this capital stack on this project. Not an easy feat. Any questions from board members? Sam.
Thank you, Anthea. Thanks for in the write-up, in the staff write-up, the one concern that kind of caught my eye was a concern about inflation for investors. And I didn't quite understand that. I'm not sure if staff wants to explain that or who might want to explain that that concern.
I believe that was included in the write-up because that was a part of the appraisal, or a part of the language that was included in the appraisal.
500 feet. What inflation, what is the concern around inflation, and who are the investors, I guess?
Ashley. Would you be willing to field that question?
Yeah, so I think that this inflation statistic was just included. That's something the appraiser looked at when he looked at the value of the actual mobile home community as a whole. And maybe it's not super beneficial for this, but it was just how he got to his value.
Who are the investors here?
In this project, it's just the DOH funds and IDF. And then the CHT is coming in with a small amount of funds that we spent on the pre-development work.
Got it. It must have been just a general comment in the inflation risk with the Trump tariffs and the ballooning potential deficit is going to result in equity investment pricing coming down. So that could have been just a general comment that was put in there. It doesn't sound like it's pertinent for this deal though.
Okay, thanks.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the Meadowood Village Mobile Home Park. I love seeing all these mobile home parks here. Presenting is Richard Stevenson.
Thank you. Members of the board, today we have the Meadowood Cooperative acquisition of the Meadowood Valley Mobile Home Park. This project is a straightforward request for subsidies to assist the cooperative with the purchase of the mobile home park by the residents of this 55-plus community in this 92-lot park. The park has been in service since 1969 and has continued to be a safe haven for seniors as well as low-income residents. The park is located close to transportation, shopping, medical, and recreational centers, as well as having its own accessible co-op building and community room, as well as off-street parking. Meadowood Cooperative is purchasing and will maintain ownership of the land that the manufactured homes currently sit on, located at 6705 South Santa Fe Drive in Littleton. The financial closing is anticipated for early January 2025. The primary purpose of this acquisition is the preservation of affordable housing. Debt financing from Rock USA Capital, Weave Financial, and Impact Development Fund will require a slight increase in lot rents. However, 46 units will remain under 80% area median income. 43 will be just under 100 AMI, and 3 will be up to 120% AMI. In addition to the lenders, Meadowood has received an award of $750,000 from Arapahoe County and $25,000 from the city of Littleton. Variances from the DOH guidelines for land costs are typical for mobile home park acquisitions, where unit lots per acre are a result of high density and private equity firms have been aggressively acquiring mobile home parks around the country, driving park prices higher. DOH staff is recommending up to $3,475,000 of Proposition 123 AHOP funds in the form of a cash flow loan. Here to give a brief on the impact of the acquisition, we have Meadowood resident and community leader, Sandy Cook.
Hi, thanks for taking time to listen to us today. My name is Sandy Cook. I'm on the board of directors here at Meadowood. The Meadowood Cooperative was formed to purchase our mobile home park and become the first resident-owned community in Littleton. Mobile home parks continue to be a cost-effective option to provide affordable housing to those that are low income or on fixed income. Meadowood will continue to be a source of affordable housing in the city of Littleton and Arapahoe County for many years. We're a 55-plus community with 92 homes. Our residents have many backgrounds compiled of working class, retired, the disabled, veterans, caregivers, and seniors. One of our residents has lived in this park over 54 years. Our age range is usually from 57 to 93. If you can believe it, we have 2 residents who are 93 in this park. This endeavor will ensure our current residents remain in their homes with dignity and with the community's support. In addition, this will permit us to welcome new and future residents that are in need of affordable housing. While this has been a difficult journey, the residents of Meadowood would like to thank the Department of Housing, especially the dedicated employees of DOLA and MPOP who worked with us during this difficult venture. They have gotten us many steps closer to achieving our goals. I can say for myself, this is something that we really never thought that we would have to be doing here in our park. We wanted to preserve what we had and make sure that we could continue to operate, making sure that all of our residents are comfortable here, that they have a safe place to live. And we are a very small community, as I say, only 92 homes. And this opportunity came on us in January, and we're almost to the end of it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. It's wonderful to see you here. We've had some conversations, and I'm just amazed at the work that you've done and what you've been able to pull together on behalf of all your neighbors. So congratulations. Any questions from the board? Sam.
Thank you, Anthea. I'm not sure who would like to answer the question, but I saw that after purchase by the cooperative, the rents are going to go up a few $100s. And I'm just wondering can someone give us an idea of if somebody is at 80% AMI, what their lot costs, plus I assume that most people own their own unit. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And do most of them own it free and clear at this point, or do they have, some of them have mortgages?
Almost everything in this park, they do own outright. We probably have, to my knowledge, maybe 4 that do have loans on them. And those are people that have moved in more recently into the park.
And so when somebody would move out of the park, would they sell their existing unit, or would they move that unit off and then somebody else would move their unit onto that site?
I've been here 2.5 years, and in that time, I have not seen any move out. It's not very cost effective to move. They are always sold, to my knowledge.
So the unit is sold to the new buyer rather than, right?
Correct, yes.
And Richard, or anyone know, for people that have a mortgage, what is their kind of mortgage payment and lot rent compared? What's that ratio compared to their income?
Richard, I can answer that one real quick. In the packet that you provided, Sam, we have a spreadsheet that shows you the what we used to call the income and expense. We've modified that for mobile home projects, and on that page, you see where the rents are. Proposed rents are. We've got it at 1,180. And you go a couple columns over, you can see the amount that's available for mobile home loan and other housing expenses. So for those 46 units that are at 80%, household income is 80% of AMI, they essentially will have $1,559 available for a mortgage or for other housing expenses. For those that are at 100% of AMI, they will have $2,244 available. And then for those that are at 120, they'll have $2,929. So that we have taken to that account as far as coming up with a monthly rent that helps them meet their financing, because they do have quite a few loans on this project to get it financed. And we also made sure that we had a proposed rent that would reasonably allow the tenants at Sandy's property to afford if they have to go out and purchase a mobile home for a mortgage. So we've accounted for that information. And I know Richard has had many discussions with not just Sandy, but also with the Thistle, Rock USA people, as far as coming up with a reasonable rent amount that will help meet their financing needs for this financing at this acquisition, as well as making sure that the tenants are well served in case they have to purchase a mobile home.
Okay, thank you, Wayne.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Richard and Sandy. Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Next up is the ECLT statewide program, and presenting will be Richard Stevenson.
All right, today for the board, we also have Elevations Community Land Trust and a request to fund their home ownership program. They are requesting $19.53 million in Prop 123 AHOP funds to build 279 homes on sites around the state. This ECLT request will fund projects across the state as small as single home sites, as well as small projects up to 29 units. Of note is the representation from ECLT that nearly all of the sites are either committed, underway, shovel-ready, or others, which are in the aggregate serve to help meet the goal of more housing now. One of the key factors of the ECLT model is that they typically provide homes for households at or below 80% area median income. ECLT homes utilize a 99-year renewable land lease or deed restriction that includes a resale restriction. The program allows homeowners to build wealth through a shared appreciation formula, and ECLT subsidies in the projects are matched by local municipalities. Some examples of their success can be found specifically in projects like La Tela, a 92-unit condominium, the Burrell, 49-unit condominium, the Kechter Townhomes, 54-unit project. Statewide scattered projects will more closely resemble ECLT's scattered site acquisition and rehabilitation projects, which include 159 homes completed in Denver, 22 in Aurora, and 52 in Boulder County. Staff is recommending a partial funding of the Proposition 123 AHOP grant funds up to $9.5 million or $70,895 per unit to Elevation Community Land Trust for up to 134 units or sites. After careful review and analysis of the staff recommendation, it is anticipated to cover about 1 year of the program's forecast for developments. Here to give us a briefing of the program and how it serves the state population and affordability needs, we have ECLT's Executive Director, Stefka Fanchi. Please go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you for having me today and for this staff recommendation. I also have Robin Hickey with me today. She's our CFO to answer any financial questions. So that was an excellent overview, Richard. Thank you very much. This does represent approximately 1 year worth of our pipeline, which, as he mentioned, is all committed pipeline that we have entitlements on that we are either in process of or very close to beginning. So lots of exciting things all around the state. Of particular note for the board today is that we have two primary ways that we're working here. So it's an acquisition and rehabilitation of scattered sites, which are individual units that we have contracts with the city of Denver, the city of Aurora, and Jefferson County, places like that, where we're acquiring homes on the market, rehabilitating them, repricing them as affordable, and keeping them affordable in perpetuity. We also partner with developers, and there's some information in your packets on that as well. So we will work with developers very early on to acquire land, to plan for projects based on local needs. And then we will purchase all or a select number of homes upon completion. And that's one way that we've been able to really scale and to expand across the state. So we're not holding capital in any one project and rather are able to rotate funds and capital through efficiently to really get housing now. So would love to hear your questions and any thoughts you have.
Excellent. Thank you, Stefka and Richard. Any questions from the board? Hearing none. Thank you both. Last up for our project applications is the Habitat for Humanity statewide program, and Richard Stevenson will be presenting.
All right. Today, we also have the Habitat for Humanity of Colorado and a request to fund their statewide homeownership program. They are requesting $9.959 million in Prop 123 AHOP funds to build 125 homes on scattered sites around the state. Habitat for Humanity anticipates that 100% of the units constructed will qualify for the energy efficiency bonus subsidy, that as well as 10% of the units will qualify for the alternative construction bonus using a modular construction design for a total of 12 units in that subset. Habitat for Humanity traditionally serves households with incomes up to 60% of area median income, while Prop 123 will allow for up to 100% AMI. These funds will supplement the previous award of $5,040,000 to help fund applications from affiliates across the multiple Habitat regional organizations. Habitat for Humanity affiliates use grants, donations, and sweat equity to reduce construction costs and to maintain affordability for the home buyer, and a shared equity model for maintaining affordability for homes that are resold during the 30-year affordability period. Land costs per unit exceed DOH ranges. However, this is a reflection of single building lot purchases across the state, many of which are located in mountain resort or other high-cost areas. DOH staff recommends a Proposition 123 AHOP grant of supplemental funding up to $9.9 million for an additional 125 homes, with a minimum of 30% of homes funded to be in rural areas of the state. Here to give us a briefing on the program and how it serves the state population and affordability needs, we have Habitat for Humanity Colorado's Executive Director, Karen Kallenberg.
Hey, Richard, this is Jennifer O'Keefe.
We also have Jennifer O'Keefe from Habitat for Humanity. Sorry.
You're tag teaming, and Jennifer is going to do the presentation, and I am here for questions. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so I just want to start by thanking Division of Housing staff for working with us over the past few months on this request. We really appreciate your partnership, and specifically want to thank you, Richard, and Andrew Ashley for your direction and support. Habitat for Humanity's mission is to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. The 23 affiliates across Colorado build in 45 communities, serving households at an average of 60% area median income. With increasing mortgage rates and housing prices, homeownership remains out of reach for many Coloradans. The median sales price continues to hover around $612,000, and there's little to no for sale inventory for lower income households. This means teachers, nursing assistants, and childcare staff are not able to put down roots in the communities they serve. Habitat for Humanity is part of the solution. In fiscal year 24, Habitat increased our production to 117 homes, but we heard the challenge from Allison George to increase production. And in fiscal year 25, affiliates are on track to start construction of 200 homes. The continued investment from the Division of Housing is a crucial part of making this increased production a reality, providing homeownership opportunities for 200 households that most likely would not be able to purchase a home otherwise. The funding will have a great impact on rural communities Habitat serves, such as Alamosa, Rifle, Cortez, and Gunnison, where affordable housing is in short supply and Habitat is often the only route to homeownership for lower income households. It will also play a significant role in the success of large projects across the state, such as Habitat for Humanity of Greeley-Weld's goal to complete 45 homes in their Hope Springs development. Through expanding our volunteer model to include innovative building practices and partnerships, these communities will see more affordable homeownership. Habitat serves diverse populations around the state. In honor of the Veterans Day holiday yesterday and continuing with the theme from earlier, I'm going to tell you about a future homebuyer on the Western Slope. This veteran bravely served our country and unfortunately became disabled during their service. This person now works with fellow veterans who are returning home. The opportunity to purchase a house through Habitat will provide a stable, safe home for someone who has selflessly served our country. Thank you again for consideration of our contract amendment, and we appreciate your support and partnership as we continue to grow our impact across the state.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer and Richard, for that presentation. Any questions from the board? Hearing none. Looks like you're off the hook for questions, Karen. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the project application votes. I would like to ask first if there are any board members that need to recuse themselves from any of these deals that we're going to present for approval. Monique?
I think I should recuse myself from the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe as I am a tribal member.
Okay. Thank you for that. Anybody else, James?
Yeah, I need to recuse myself from the Habitat for Humanity.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else? All right, well, let's start then with the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe Housing Rehab. If I can ask for a motion of approval.
This is Candace, so moved.
Thank you, Candace.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Nancy.
Okay. Second by Nancy. All those in favor signify by aye or hand raise.
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? All right, congratulations to Ute Mountain for approval there. Monique is recusing herself. And then next up, let's do Habitat for Humanity, the statewide program. If I can ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Thanks, Nancy.
Second. LaDon.
Thanks, LaDon, for the second. All those in favor signify by aye or hand raise.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, and James is recusing himself there, so congratulations to Habitat. And then finally, we'll do a batch of the RMCLT, First Time Home Ownership Program, Mountain Valley Mobile Home Park, Meadowood Village Mobile Home Park, and the ECLT statewide program. If I could ask for a motion for approval for all of those.
So moved. This is LaDon.
Thanks, LaDon.
I second that. This is Monique.
Monique, thanks for the second. All those in favor signify by aye or hand raise.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nobody is recusing themselves. I saw an emoji of confusion. Am I missing anything? Is there?
No, I absolutely did not mean to send a confusion emoji. So I'm sorry.
Sorry. Did I miss any? I think I got them all there. Can I get a thumbs up from someone if I got them all, or I think we're good?
I think you did. Yep.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you all for attending. I'd like to we're going to go ahead and move the State Housing Board members and some of the staff to the executive session, but would like to thank everyone for all of the applications. There's some wonderful applications here, and congratulations to all of you. For executive session, we are going to have to be moving to another link as well. But before we do that, I'd like to just read a script here to get us into executive session. And Teresa, is this script, what I'm reading, is this here on the slide or?
It is here on the slide.
Okay. The Colorado Attorney General's Office will provide a compliance training overview of the Colorado Open Meetings Law, Colorado Open Records Act, and conflicts of interest. This will occur in executive session. I move pursuant to section 24-6402, 3A2 of the Colorado Revised Statutes to adjourn the public portion of this meeting and to reconvene in executive session with our attorney and Division of Housing staff for the purpose of receiving legal advice relating to the Colorado Open Meetings Law, Colorado Open Records Act, and conflicts of interest. State Housing Board members, Division of Housing staff, and Attorney General staff will exit this meeting and move to the executive session meeting. But before we do that, I need to ask you all a question. Bear with me here. Bear with me, all. I have a question to ask. I know I do.
Cynthia, I think
I
we
need
just
a call
need
for
a
a
second.
second.
Yep. Thank you.
I need a call for a second.
Second.
Then I need to call for and record the vote. And then now I would like to, did I do that right, Teresa? Okay. Now I would like to ask us all to join the executive session link, which Teresa put in the chat here, and we also have in our emails. So we'll see everyone on the other side.
Just quickly, I think we need to record the vote here. So if you want to take the vote of in favor to move into the executive session, Anthea, we would appreciate it.
Got it. When you said need to record the vote, you meant got it. All right. All those in favor for moving to executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you all. We'll see you on the other side.
Thanks all. Please click the link in the chat or on your invite.
Candace, can you close out of this and go to the executive?
I just clicked on the one. I will now.